It's looking at the camera, not that camera, this camera, not that camera, this camera. So, I'm not sure where I'm going with this. No. I kind of just want to just do like crystal ball things with it. Hello everyone, what's happening? You're here with me, Dave, on the Empire, and it is time for a technology review. This time around, I have this funky geodesic dome that could be a crystal ball, but is in fact a security-centric Wi-Fi router. It is the Core by Norton, and it is available in New Zealand now. A little bit more about this. It is a security-centric, high-performance Wi-Fi router. By that, I mean that it has a multiple input, multiple output cluster of antennas underneath this funky exterior, which provide a really strong Wi-Fi signal from a single device without having to sort of set up something like a mesh network where you have multiple access points to provide you with Wi-Fi around your property. Not only that, but because it is a security-centric product made by Norton, who are part of the Semantic group, any traffic that moves through this device is effectively scanned, filtered, and put through a proxy service, which checks it against things like known bad website addresses, potential bad sort of internet traffic types, so things like viruses and malware trying to call back to a command and control center to do something bad on your computer. Lots of things are covered by what this does, but I will try and keep it really straightforward for the purposes of this review because I don't want to nerd out on security because it's kind of my thing. The device itself is very straightforward and very easy to set up. Hopefully I'm going to cut to some B-roll now, but what you should see is when you look in the device itself, over here, over here, over here, yep, you've got 4 Ethernet ports, 2 USB ports, a power port, and a reset switch. That is pretty much all there is to it. The device itself looks really cool. I think this is probably one of the best looking internet routers I've ever seen. You know, they're not normally designed to be displayable. They normally sit behind things or out of the way, you know. You might tuck them in a drawer. You wouldn't put it on top of the TV unit, for example. Just to prove this point, here is the internet router I currently have in my house. It is a Fritzbox. It is made in Germany. You can't really tell because all the good designers apparently were taken by BMW, Mercedes and Audi, and this is what I got left with. But this is also a 5 GHz wireless router, which is currently fulfilling the purpose of delivering my 1 gigabit internet connection throughout my house. The Wi-Fi signal on this one is way better than it is on this one. I set this up in the same place that this lives normally, and at the extreme edges of my house, this is dropping down to like 2 or 1 bars on the Wi-Fi on, you know, like one of my Windows PCs. This, however, still had the full 4 or 5 bars. I don't think the signal ever dropped below 80% anywhere in my house, which is really impressive. This on the 2.4 gigahertz channel, sure, it was pretty reasonable, but on the 5 gigahertz channel, nowhere near as good as this. And 5 gigahertz is kind of where you want to be with internet connectivity on the Wi-Fi going forward. So this is actually very well placed to provide a good internet service generally, which is really important because it is a router and that's what it does. It connects you to the internet. Now, security stuff. So what you get along with this is you get an app, and the app lives on your smartphone or your tablet or another Android or iOS device. And that app takes you through a very simple setup process. 2 other things that it does really, really well and are really worth mentioning, and maybe something that would steer you towards this, is it makes it very easy to set up what's called a guest network, which means that you can effectively set up a second Wi-Fi network in your house on this device, and you can give that out to people who you don't want to have access to your normal Wi-Fi network. For example, if you're running an Airbnb, you could set up a guest network for whenever you have people turning over and they can access that and they'll never see any of your computers and you'll never see any of their computers, and you really don't have to worry about any sort of shenanigans going on. Or if one of your kids is throwing a party and all of their mates are turning up and they all want to get their Instagram on, then you can set up a guest network and just give them the password for that, shut it down at the end of the party. Hey, guess what? Nobody's going to sit there sucking up your bandwidth. Good stuff. Particularly if you're on a metered connection. A lot of people I know are on unlimited, but some people still have, a metered connection going on. You can apply limits very, very easily. The other thing that it does really, really well is parental controls. I have 3 children. This is a bit of a game changer for me in that respect. You can create profiles for members of your family. The profile, you can attach devices to it. So my son really likes a specific tablet, and for the most part, I let him use it. If he uses that tablet, I attach it to his name and I say that can only be used for X hours per day, and the traffic profile is for somebody aged 5 and under, which means that it immediately blocks access to so many internet sites that are not appropriate for a child of his age. It's a really powerful thing, and it's very, very easy to set up, and it's all controlled through the app on your mobile phone or tablet or other smart device. And it was an incredibly easy setup experience. I was really, really impressed. So if you are concerned about, how your children are consuming content on the internet, this is definitely a device that I would recommend. In terms of network connectivity and performance, as I mentioned, because you're hooking up to like Norton cloud services to do a lot of that filtering and traffic management and sort of preventing bad stuff from happening, there might be a concern that it serves as a bit of a throttle on your internet connection. Now, as I mentioned, I have a gigabit internet connection, which is, definitely in the minority in New Zealand. However, it is becoming more available. A lot of the people that I know have between ADSL 2+, which is like 20 to 25 megabits, all the way up to 200 to 500 megabit connections. I found that a speed test with this device right here resulted in a cap on about 400 to 450 megabit per second download and upload rates. Whilst that doesn't sound great in the context of a 1 gigabit connection, and if I'm honest, it's not, for the majority of internet users, it's not going to be a problem because you're not going to hit anything beyond what your internet connection is capable of serving. And of course, as gigabit becomes more available, it may become more of a problem for internet users, but 450 megabits is still heaps. I didn't encounter any slowdown whilst trying to download, upload, any kind of internet connectivity going on in the house happened flawlessly. And I think that a lot of that's to do with that, that array of antennas and things going on in here as well, which is really cool. It's also designed to protect like your smart devices, your smart TVs, smart fridges, smart washing machines. If you've got an Internet of Things type device going on here, this will actually provide you with some pretty good protections, because for a lot of the Internet of Things, security is either non-existent or an afterthought. A good example of this would be some of those baby monitors with built-in webcams on them. Those are open. If anyone's able to get access to your network or snoop on it, or even, connect up to however the heck it's served up, then they can see what's on that video feed, which is really concerning as a parent. And there have been some unfortunately well-documented cases where it's been abused by weirdos on the internet. I'm not saying that this is a silver bullet. Nothing is a silver bullet when it comes to internet security, because it's something that you have to develop, and it is something that you have to find your own comfort level with. You may be a single person in their mid-20s who doesn't give two hoots about internet security at a home network level. If you don't, this is not the device for you. Absolutely not. I would say the only thing that you need to be worried about from an internet security level is ensuring that you've got two-factor authentication on all of your accounts. For me, as a family man who has children, and I am quite concerned about some of the content on the internet and how easily it can be accessed. Now, from my perspective, this provides me with a great toolbox to help shape and maintain a good internet experience for my family, for my children, and as they grow, you can change it so that it fits their level of maturity and what they are ready to consume. It makes it really easy, and that I think is a very, very useful thing in the digital age. On the whole, I think this is a really cool device. It's one of the best looking internet routers that I've seen. It wouldn't look out of place on my TV unit next to my TV instead of tucked away discreetly behind it like the other one I've got. Sure, it costs a little bit more than your average internet router, but what you get in terms of being able to shape the internet experience if you have a family, or the versatility of being able to quickly and easily set up guest networks and ensure that you have good connectivity options if you run something like an Airbnb, or you're just going to have people around for a while, or this is a very versatile thing. And whilst it doesn't necessarily do anything extremely groundbreaking in the device itself, the app that you get with it makes it very easy to configure and very easy to set up and very easy to use and understand what's going on. And that, paired with the endpoint protection suite and all the other bits that come along with it, mean that you have a toolbox with which you can extend some of the cybersecurity protections that should be a part of your digital identity in 2018. So if I'm going to give this a score, I'm going to score it against other routers of its type. I believe it exceeds what they offer because of that security focus. And so I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. The cost may be excessive to some. The ongoing annual license fee may be unpalatable to others. But on the whole, I believe that this is one of the most compelling, and if you fit specific use cases like a family or an Airbnb host or just somebody who is mindful of digital security in this day and age, this is a very compelling offering and one that you should look at further. So thanks very much for checking out this review. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Do hang around, stay and watch a few more videos. Maybe check out that TV review I did a couple weeks back. Like, comment, favorite, subscribe, notify, blah, 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 all the good YouTube stuff, because we want to give you more of this. Yes, of this. And as always, if this is your last video with us for the evening, thank you very much for hanging out with us here on The Empire. I was your tech and gaming guy, Dave, and I will see you